Stop whatever you're doing and imagine this. You reach into an old coin jar, pull out a 1973 Kennedy half-dollar with a tiny D mint mark, and toss it aside because you think it's just another 50-cent coin. But what if that single decision costs you hundreds or even thousands of dollars? It sounds unbelievable, yet collectors have paid remarkable prices for certain 1973 D Kennedy half-dollars that stand out because of their condition, rare mint errors, or exceptional quality. The difference between an ordinary coin and a highly valuable one often comes down to details, so small that most people never notice them. In today's video, we're revealing exactly what makes the 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar special, the mistakes that can turn it into a collector's dream, and the features you should check before you spend or ignore one. Stay until the end, because the final detail could completely change the way you look at every Kennedy half-dollar you own. The Kennedy half-dollar has one of the most emotional stories in American coin history. Following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in 1963, the United States Mint moved with incredible speed to honor the late president by placing his portrait on the half-dollar. The first coins entered circulation in 1964, and Americans immediately began saving them as keepsakes. Banks ran out of supplies almost overnight because people believed the coins represented an important moment in history. Even today, the Kennedy half-dollar remains one of the most collected coins in the United States. By 1971, the composition of regular circulating Kennedy half-dollars had changed from silver to a copper-nickel-clad construction. The 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar was produced using this clad composition and struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located on the reverse beneath the eagle. More than 83 million examples were minted, making it appear common at first glance. Because of this high mintage, many people assume every 1973 D half-dollar is worth only 50 cents. That assumption is exactly why valuable examples are sometimes overlooked. The first thing collectors examine is the overall condition of the coin. Most examples spent years moving from hand to hand, accumulating scratches, dents, worn details, and dull surfaces. These circulated coins usually carry only a small premium over face value. However, coins that were saved immediately after leaving the mint often retain brilliant mint luster, crisp details, and clean surfaces. These uncirculated examples attract much stronger collector demand. Professional grading companies evaluate coins on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. Every tiny mark matters. A coin graded MS-63 might be worth only a modest premium, while an MS-65 example becomes significantly more desirable. As the grade climbs to MS-66, MS-67, and beyond, prices can increase dramatically because so few coins survive with such exceptional preservation. Population rarity, not just mintage, is what creates value. Another critical factor is strike quality. During production at the Denver Mint, some coins received a stronger strike than others. A sharply struck 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar displays bold lettering, clearly defined hair above Kennedy's ear, and strong feather detail on the eagle. These well-struck examples are especially attractive to collectors and often command higher prices than weakly struck coins with the same grade. Now, let's discuss one of the most exciting parts of coin collecting: mint errors. These mistakes occur during the manufacturing process and can transform an ordinary coin into a highly collectible rarity. Every genuine mint error tells the story of something unusual happening inside the mint, making these coins fascinating pieces of history. One of the most popular errors is the off-center strike. Instead of being perfectly aligned, the blank planchet shifts during striking, causing part of the design to be missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, while still showing the date, the more desirable the coin usually becomes. Collectors actively search for these unusual pieces. Another sought-after error is the double strike. This happens when the coin is struck twice, creating overlapping images. Genuine double-struck Kennedy half-dollars are eye-catching and often bring impressive premiums depending on the severity of the error. Die cracks are another variety worth checking. As minting dies age, Cracks develop and leave raised lines on the finished coin. While small die cracks are relatively common, large or dramatic cracks crossing major design elements can attract significant collector interest. Collectors also search for clipped planchet errors. Before striking, coin blanks are punched from long metal sheets. Occasionally, the cutting process overlaps, leaving a curved piece missing from a blank. When struck, the finished coin retains this unusual missing section, creating a genuine mint error that collectors enjoy finding. Broad strike errors are equally fascinating. Normally, a retaining collar keeps the coin's diameter consistent during striking. If that collar fails, the coin spreads outward, producing a wider appearance with no normal raised rim. Broad strikes are instantly recognizable and remain popular among error collectors. Perhaps the rarest and most valuable mistakes involve wrong planchets. Imagine a Kennedy half-dollar accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination. Because the size, weight, and metal composition differ, these spectacular mint errors stand out immediately. Authentic examples are extremely scarce and have sold for remarkable prices at major auctions. Collectors should also inspect the edge carefully. Genuine mint-made abnormalities are collectible, while damage occurring after the coin entered circulation usually adds no value. Learning the difference between mint errors and post-mint damage is one of the most important skills for any collector. Here's another mistake many beginners make. They clean their coins. It may seem like polishing improves appearance, but cleaning almost always reduces collector value. Professional graders can quickly identify cleaned surfaces, hairline scratches, and altered finishes. Original surfaces are almost always more valuable than polished ones. Natural toning is another characteristic collectors appreciate. Over decades, proper storage can create beautiful shades of gold, blue, violet, green, or amber across the surface. Attractive natural toning makes every coin unique, and exceptional examples often command strong premiums because of their visual appeal. Authentication becomes increasingly important as value rises. Professional grading services verify authenticity, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin in tamper-resistant holders. Certified coins generally inspire greater confidence among buyers, making them easier to sell and often more valuable than raw examples. Auction results clearly demonstrate the importance of condition. Most circulated 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollars remain worth only face value or a modest premium. Typical uncirculated examples may sell for several dollars to a few dozen dollars depending on quality. However, coins certified in the very highest mint state grades, or those with rare authenticated mint errors, have realized prices ranging from hundreds to even several $1,000s in competitive auctions. That's why experienced collectors inspect every coin carefully before deciding its value. If you're searching through inherited collections, old piggy banks, bank rolls, estate sales, or forgotten coin albums, never overlook a 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar. Examine the luster, strike quality, surface preservation, edge, mint mark, and possible errors. One extraordinary example hidden among ordinary coins could become the most valuable piece in your collection. Many incredible discoveries have happened exactly this way. Someone almost spends an old coin, notices an unusual feature at the last moment, and learns it is worth far more than expected. Those stories continue to inspire collectors around the world because valuable coins are still being found every year. The 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar proves that value is about much more than mintage. While millions were produced, only a tiny percentage remain in outstanding condition or possess rare mint errors. Those are the coins serious collectors compete to own, and they are the reason every Kennedy half-dollar deserves a careful inspection. So, before you spend your next 50-cent piece, stop and take a closer look. That small D mint mark could be attached to a coin with far greater value than anyone realizes. The next hidden treasure might already be sitting in your pocket, tucked away in a coin jar, or waiting inside an old family collection. The 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar Including the rare features that can dramatically increase its value, the mint errors collectors hunt for, and the simple details that could separate an ordinary coin from a hidden treasure. Stay with us until the very end, because the final tip could save you from accidentally spending a valuable coin. The Kennedy half-dollar remains one of America's most iconic coins. Introduced in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination, the coin immediately became a symbol of remembrance and national pride. Demand was so overwhelming that millions of Americans began saving the coins instead of spending them. Even decades later, the Kennedy half-dollar continues to be one of the most widely collected U.S. coins. The 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located beneath the eagle on the reverse. Unlike the silver Kennedy half-dollars of the 1960s, this coin was produced using a copper-nickel-clad composition. More than 79 million examples were struck at Denver, making it a common date in terms of mintage. However, experienced collectors know that mintage numbers alone do not determine value. Condition, rarity within high grades, eye appeal, and mint errors are often far more important. When evaluating a 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollar, the very first thing collectors examine is its condition. Most examples entered circulation shortly after leaving the mint, where they accumulated scratches, worn details, rim nicks, and countless contact marks. These circulated coins generally carry little premium over face value. However, coins that remained untouched for decades often preserve their original mint luster and sharp design details. Those are the coins serious collectors actively seek. Professional grading companies use the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, to determine a coin's condition. While lower mint state grades may only bring modest premiums, values increase dramatically as the grade rises. Coins certified as MS-66 or MS-67 become significantly scarcer, while superb gems approaching MS-68 or higher are exceptionally difficult to find. Because so few survive in these elite grades, collectors often compete fiercely whenever one appears at auction. Strike quality is another critical factor affecting value. Not every coin leaves the mint with identical detail. Some 1974 D. Kennedy half-dollars received stronger strikes, producing sharper lettering, more defined hair above Kennedy's ear, and better feather detail on the eagle. Collectors often pay premiums for coins displaying exceptional strike quality combined with strong mint luster. Now, let's move into one of the most exciting areas of coin collecting: mint errors. These fascinating production mistakes transform ordinary coins into unique collectibles that attract tremendous attention within the numismatic community. One of the most recognizable mint errors is the off-center strike. During production, if the blank planchet shifts before being struck, part of the design will be missing while the remaining design appears shifted toward one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, while still showing the date, the greater the collector interest tends to be. Double strikes are equally exciting. These occur when a coin receives two separate impressions from the dies. Depending on the alignment, overlapping images may become clearly visible, creating one of the most dramatic mint errors available. Authentic double-struck Kennedy half-dollars are highly collectible. Collectors also search carefully for double die varieties. Unlike double strikes, double dies originate during die manufacturing itself. This creates noticeable doubling on letters, numbers, or portions of the design. Genuine double dies can command substantial premiums, especially when the doubling is bold and easily visible without magnification. Die cracks are another variety worth watching. As minting dies where from extended use, cracks form and transfer raised lines onto coins. Small die cracks are relatively common, but dramatic examples crossing major design elements often attract additional collector demand. Clipped planchet errors remain popular among specialists. These unusual coins were created when the blank was improperly punched from the metal strip, leaving part of the edge missing before striking. Since the error occurs before the coin is struck, the missing curved section becomes an authentic part of the finished coin. Broad strike errors happen when the retaining collar fails during striking. Without the collar restricting expansion, the coin spreads outward beyond its normal diameter, leaving unusually wide edges and missing the standard raised rim. Broad-struck Kennedy half dollars remain desirable collectibles. Some of the rarest discoveries involve wrong planchet errors. Imagine a 1974 D. Kennedy half dollar accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination. Differences in size, weight, and composition immediately distinguish these extraordinary mistakes from normal coins. Genuine wrong planchet errors are extremely scarce and can bring impressive auction prices. Many collectors also inspect the edge for unusual characteristics. While post-mint damage usually carries no premium, genuine mint-made abnormalities may significantly increase collector interest. Learning to distinguish between true mint errors and ordinary damage is one of the most valuable skills a collector can develop. Another important topic is cleaning. Many beginners mistakenly polish old coins, believing shiny means valuable. In reality, cleaning often destroys the original surface that collectors prize. Professional graders can easily recognize clean coins, and such pieces frequently receive lower values than naturally preserved examples. Natural toning tells another fascinating story. Over decades of proper storage, exposure to air and storage materials may create beautiful colors ranging from golden amber to blue, violet, green, and even rainbow hues. Attractive natural toning often enhances both beauty and desirability, making one coin stand apart from millions of ordinary examples. Authentication is essential whenever significant value is involved. Professional grading services verify authenticity, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin in protective holders. Certified coins generally inspire greater buyer confidence and often achieve stronger prices than uncertified examples. Auction records consistently demonstrate the enormous importance of condition. Most circulated 1974 D. Kennedy half dollars remain worth around face value or only a slight premium. Typical uncirculated examples may sell for several dollars to a few dozen dollars depending on quality. However, examples certified in the highest mint state grades or coins featuring spectacular authenticated mint errors have sold for hundreds and, in exceptional cases, several $1,000s because of their extreme rarity. If you're searching through inherited collections, estate sales, coin albums, bank rolls, old piggy banks, or forgotten drawers, never ignore a 1974 D. Kennedy half dollar. Carefully examine every coin under strong lighting. Look for brilliant original luster, sharp strike quality, unusual doubling, die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, off-center strikes, and other genuine mint errors. That extra minute of inspection could reveal a coin worth far more than 50 cents. One of the greatest attractions of coin collecting is that remarkable discoveries continue to happen every year. Valuable coins are still being found in circulation, family collections, and old savings jars because millions of people never realize what they're holding. Every overlooked Kennedy half dollar represents another opportunity waiting to be discovered. The 1974 D. Kennedy half dollar perfectly illustrates why knowledgeable collectors inspect every coin carefully. Although millions were minted, only a tiny fraction survive in extraordinary condition or possess genuine mint errors. Those exceptional coins are the ones that attract serious collectors and command remarkable prices in today's market. So, before you spend another Kennedy half dollar, take a closer look. That tiny D mint mark beneath the eagle could identify a coin with far greater value than anyone around you suspects. Your next hidden treasure might already be sitting in your pocket, resting inside an old collection, or waiting quietly in a forgotten coin jar. The 1984 D. Kennedy half dollar special, which rare features collectors search for the mint errors that can dramatically increase its value and why you should never spend one without inspecting it first. Stay until the very end, because the last feature we reveal is one that even experienced collectors sometimes overlook. The Kennedy half dollar has remained one of the most recognizable coins in American history since its introduction in 1964. Created to honor President John F. Kennedy shortly after his assassination, the coin quickly became a symbol of remembrance, patriotism, and national pride. Americans saved millions of these coins instead of spending them, making the Kennedy half dollar one of the most collected U.S. coin series ever produced. By 1984, the Kennedy half dollar had already become a familiar part of American coinage. However, unlike the silver issues of the 1960s, the 1984 D. Kennedy half dollar was struck using a copper-nickel-clad composition. It was produced at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located on the reverse beneath the eagle. The Denver Mint struck more than 26 million examples that year. While that sounds like an enormous number, experienced collectors know that surviving examples in exceptional condition are much scarcer than the original mintage suggests. Most 1984 D. Kennedy half dollars entered circulation shortly after leaving the mint. They passed through cash registers, banks, vending machines, casinos, and countless hands over the decades. As a result, many examples show scratches, worn surfaces, rim damage, and faded details. These circulated coins usually remain worth only face value or a small premium. But hidden among them are coins that were never circulated at all. Collectors pay close attention to coins that still display their original mint luster. Fresh, brilliant surfaces, crisp design details, and minimal contact marks make a coin far more desirable. These uncirculated examples are increasingly difficult to find because relatively few were carefully preserved for decades. Professional grading companies evaluate coins using the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. Every tiny mark affects the final grade. A coin graded MS63 may only carry a modest premium, while MS65 examples become much more collectible. As the grade rises to MS66, MS67, or even higher, values increase dramatically because only a very small percentage survive in nearly flawless condition. These elite condition coins are known as condition rarities, and collectors compete aggressively whenever one becomes available. Another factor that influences value is strike quality. During production, not every coin receives exactly the same amount of striking pressure. Some 1984 D. Kennedy half dollars display exceptionally sharp details, including clearly defined hair above Kennedy's ear, bold lettering, crisp stars, and outstanding feather detail on the eagle. Strong strikes combined with excellent luster make these coins especially attractive to collectors. Now, let's move into one of the most exciting parts of coin collecting, mint errors. Mint errors occur during the manufacturing process and often transform common coins into valuable collectibles. One of the most dramatic mint errors is the off-center strike. If the blank planchet shifts before the dies, strike it, part of the design will be missing. The greater the off-center percentage, while still showing the date and mint mark, the more valuable the coin often becomes. Authentic off-center Kennedy half dollars are always popular among collectors. Double strikes are another spectacular error. These occur when a coin receives two separate strikes from the dies instead of one. Depending on how the coin moved between strikes, overlapping designs may appear, creating one of the most visually impressive mint mistakes. Collectors also search carefully for double die varieties. Unlike double strikes, double dies occur during die creation itself. The result is visible doubling on letters, numbers, Kennedy's portrait, or other design elements. Strong double die varieties are highly collectible and can sell for substantial premiums. Die cracks deserve close attention as well. Over time, minting dies develop cracks that transfer raised lines onto the coins they strike. Small cracks are common, but dramatic die cracks crossing important design features often generate additional collector interest. Another exciting discovery is the clipped planchet error. Before striking, coin blanks are punched from large sheets of metal. Occasionally, the punching process overlaps, leaving part of the blank missing. When struck, the finished coin displays a curved missing section that confirms an authentic mint error. Broad strike errors are equally fascinating. These happen when the retaining collar fails during striking, allowing the coin to expand beyond its normal diameter. Without the raised rim, broad struck coins have a distinctive appearance that experienced collectors immediately recognize. One of the rarest possibilities involves a wrong planchet error. Imagine a Kennedy half-dollar accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination. Because the weight, size, and metal composition differ, these mistakes stand out immediately. Authentic wrong planchet errors are exceptionally rare and have sold for thousands of dollars when certified. Collectors should also inspect the coin's edge. Any unusual features produced during minting may increase collector interest, while damage occurring after the coin entered circulation generally does not add value. Understanding this difference is essential for identifying genuine mint errors. Another mistake many people make is cleaning their coins. Although a polished coin may appear brighter, cleaning removes the original mint surface and leaves microscopic scratches that professional graders can easily detect. In nearly every case, clean coins sell for less than naturally preserved examples. Natural toning is another characteristic that attracts collectors. Over decades, proper storage can produce beautiful shades of gold, blue, violet, green, and even rainbow colors across the coin surface. Attractive natural toning gives each coin a unique appearance and often increases collector demand. If you believe you've found an exceptional example, authentication is extremely important. Professional grading companies verify authenticity, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin in secure, protective holders. Certified coins are trusted by collectors worldwide and often command stronger prices than uncertified examples. Auction records clearly demonstrate how important condition can be. Most circulated 1984 D. Kennedy half-dollars remain worth about face value or only a modest premium. Nice uncirculated examples may sell for several dollars or more depending on quality. However, coins certified in the very highest mint state grades or those featuring spectacular authenticated mint errors have realized prices ranging from hundreds to several $1,000s because of their extreme rarity and collector demand. If you're searching through inherited collections, estate sales, old bank rolls, piggy banks, or forgotten coin albums, never overlook a 1984 D. Kennedy half-dollar. Carefully examine every coin under bright lighting. Look for original mint luster, strong strikes, minimal contact marks, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, broad strikes, and other authentic mint errors. One extraordinary coin hidden among ordinary examples could become the highlight of your collection. One of the greatest thrills of coin collecting is knowing that valuable discoveries continue to happen every single year. Rare coins are still found in circulation and family collections simply because most people never examine them closely. The next incredible discovery could happen to anyone willing to slow down and inspect every detail. The 1984 D. Kennedy half-dollar proves that a coin's true value isn't determined only by how many were minted. Condition, rarity, eye appeal, strike quality, and genuine mint errors all play a major role in determining what collectors are willing to pay. While millions were produced, only a tiny fraction survive in extraordinary condition, making those examples highly desirable. So, before you spend another Kennedy half-dollar, take a closer look. That small D mint mark could identify a coin worth far more than anyone around you realizes. Your next hidden treasure may already be sitting in your pocket, waiting in an old coin jar, or resting inside a forgotten family collection.